Hey, welcome to the Backyard Professor Chess videos. I'm back. I have two really fabulous games to show you in this video. First though, let me share a book. Peter Kingsley, In the Dark Places of Wisdom. Fantastically interesting book. Just as a cue to you. Okay, let's get on to some chess. I've got a better chess game here than I thought I'd be able to find, and it's a Lulu. This is Botvinnik versus Vidmar in 1936. Botvinnik really does something interesting in this game that I thought was interesting. Now, Vidmar never got into the championships a whole lot. He never became a world contender, but he was a superb player. And it is just incredible. Whoops. Yeah, D5, D5. Keep going. Oh, crap. I already did this wrong. D5. He went... For the love of Sam Walton, I'm talking like crazy and I can't remember what I'm doing. C4 for Pete's sake. E6. Knight F3. I did that. I swear I did that. Oh, D5 right there. There's the D5. Yeah, now that's better. And then D4. But of course, if you don't play through the game right, you won't be able to win, right? Okay, now Vidmar comes here. Vidmar is a serious chess player. 1936, this was when Botvinnik was definitely on the rise. Now, notice what Vidmar does. He immediately takes the pin away. Okay? That'll play a significance in this game. Very interesting. One of those little details that you just want to pay attention to. Brings his knight. Now, Vidmar will castle immediately. Yes, you're playing Botvinnik castle. When you're playing Botvinnik, you want a castle. Right? So Vidmar castles. Did I tell you that when you play Botvinnik castle, even if he comes back as a ghost, castle, he'll crucify you if you don't, right? Botvinnik was very... I think he's one of the underappreciated world champions. I truly do. Every game I play of Botvinnik is just breathtaking. It really is. This one's no exception. Bishop to D3 and C5. So, truly, contending the center. Vidmar's not going to give him an ounce of light. Botvinnik wisely castles. He said, okay, before we blow the center open, right? Get your king tucked to safety. That is correct. Seriously. And here comes Vidmar. He's going to attack the center. Of course, he announced that, right? So Botvinnik was fine to do this. What Vidmar is going to do is leave Botvinnik with an isolated pawn. But he's not going to worry about that. He says it's okay, so we can see that Botvinnik ends up with the isolated pawn. So if he can't advance that pawn, if that pawn gets blockaded, then that can turn into a weakness. That's the downside of the Isolini, right? So let's see how Botvinnik handles this. Does Botvinnik even give a flying flip? And of course, he's going to hit the bishop. And the bishop is going to stay on the long diagonal instead of come back to here or here. He's going to remain out, fully developed, maintain that beautiful diagonal. Why not? I mean, why not, I ask you? Bishop D7. Now, this is too slow. What he needs to do is he needs to clarify over here. This was the better way to do this, right? Get the bishop clarified here. Instead, he's bringing out another piece. And now, here comes Botvinnik. Queen right up the gut. And now, and you say, well, I mean, the center is still being contended for, so that, I mean, you can't really fault that, can you? Well, I can't, no. Look at what Botvinnik does. Knight e5. Now, this is going to get interesting quick. What Vidmar does is he tries to, he's a little cramped, and so he does want to pull his rooks into this, so get the bishops out so that they're not in the rook's way, right? I think this is the idea, because here comes Botvinnik getting his rook in, and that's the one thing Botvinnik consistently did in the majority of his games, is really fairly early on he got his rooks into the game. And it was one of the things that made him a seriously excellent player. Notice this. Now, this is the third knight move of Vidmar. In the meantime, Botvinnik has had a chance to bring in, well, he has moved a knight twice, that's true, but Botvinnik has had a chance to bring in yet another piece in the game. So Vidmar's moving the same piece just a little bit too much, a little bit too early. He couldn't resist, you know, tickling the queen, but of course she's going to move, right? So, I mean, that's really, and boy, does she move into a beautiful spot, right over across from the castled king. Yeah. So you know when your opponent does this, the theme is going to be you best protect your king's hiney because it's coming, right? That makes, in a way, that move just basically helped Botvinnik put together an attack. Yeah, it really wasn't a necessary move. And so that was kind of a, not the best kind of move he could have done. Bishop d5, and now of course the knight is going to take the bishop. Yeah, that is too juicy of a centerpiece not to take. And now here comes Botvinnik with the f-pawn. Now Vidmar does get his rook onto a file. He does get his rook into the game, but look at what Botvinnik has. Now Botvinnik can pry open that king side. I mean, his queen's on that side, yes, so pry the king side open. This, now we're beginning to see the faultiness of Vidmar's strategy. Yep, too many knight moves early on. And now, of course, the e will take the f. Now, rather than the queen, it is best to take it with the rook, not the queen. Get that rook in the game, because now you have a chance to double up your rooks, right? Even though you already have moved a rook once. To double rooks now would be really nice if that's what you needed to do. So this is getting dangerous. Whoops, sorry. Queen d6. No. Queen, the rook takes, yeah, queen to d6. Yes, queen to d6. That's correct. And now, here we go. You're going to pry the king side open. Now this is and you're saying, well, isn't he guilty of the same thing? He's tickling the queen when he doesn't need to. The difference with this is, it's a disruptive sacrifice. What it does is it pries the king side open. So that's the difference between those knight moves of these guys, right? Botvinnik's is a much, much more powerful knight move to tickle the queen there. And now the bishop takes that knight finally, and the bishop will take the bishop, and the rook will take the knight. Oh my goodness. Rook does not take the bishop. Rook takes the knight out of the center. And this gets real interesting. Queen can't take the rook, of course, because the queen comes down and destroys the queen side. So queen 6, and now, look at this. Rook d6, and he bops the queen all the way back down to e8, and then he just simply goes rook d7, and it is here that black resigns, because there ain't nothing he can do. The rook cannot take the rook, because this bishop, told you, much more effective. It's got that rook pinned. So there is a masterful game of ruthless pin and an open file operation by the great Botvinnik. But I have another game that I want to show you that is just so beautiful and sweet. I can't hardly stand it. So I'll be right back. Don't you go away. You got another one to watch. Okay, this next game is by one of my very, very favorite female chess players of all time, Judith Polgar. Just, you can't say enough good about her. She's white. She's versus Metodiev in 1986. I hope I pronounced the name right. I apologize if I didn't. I am such a blatant rookie at this. Knight c6, d4. Polgar's going to dominate the center immediately until, of course, the pawn is taken. And now black dominates the center until the knight takes the pawn. And now white dominates the center. And it goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And black says, that's enough noise there. Let's do this right. And Polgar says, yep, let's do this. And now we have a Fee and Kiddo Bishop situation coming up. And there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you continue your development, which with Polgar is not too difficult of a thing for her to do, because that's what she does best. Keep a look on that king side, castle side with her bishop, and she is not going... Now, since her opponent did not take the bishop, well, she couldn't, sorry, I was thinking about the knight, never mind. Polgar wants to keep this bishop here. That's what I'm trying to get to. And, of course, the castle comes. Absolutely. Keep your center pawn protected. Yes. Nothing wrong with that. Develop your queen. Yes. Develop your queen. Yes. Now she's ready to castle queenside, which she does. So, a castling on both sides, and that usually means, of course, ta-da! The fight is on. Does her opponent take the fight to her? Oh boy, rather than a question, I should say the opponent takes the fight to her. Here we go. Now it's just blitzoid. Now you just gotta hustle like crazy and let's go get it done. And now it's blitzoid. You gotta hustle like crazy. First one to the attack usually ends up doing pretty good, right? You can't hesitate. You can't wait. You gotta hustle. Here it comes. Full blitzoid. Now, at this point, a lot of people playing white panic. They say, well, I've got to prevent that side because I did castle queenside and I have to prevent that attack. No! Watch Polgar. She keeps right on going. Look! Once you start that march, if you've castled opposite sides and your opponent's coming at you, don't you stop. And this is probably one of the hardest parts of it. You're itching to do something over here, aren't you? Yeah. No. Go. Break up the king side right now. That's the proper... It's tough to do. It's psychologically, not physically. All you do physically is push the pawn, duh. But psychologically now, this is a great lesson to show us this. And here it comes. See, now my queen's in danger, you idiot. You made me waste a move, and now my queen's in danger. What do? What do I do? I am in trouble. Just take the knight, would you? Right. And now you've got a pawn stuck in the enemy territory, but look, that pawn is not going to do any more damage. So in a way, see, she didn't panic. She made sure she had a contact point to attack. And now this almost looks like it stalled, doesn't it? So see, don't panic, stay calm, but go like crazy on the opposite side when you castle opposite sides. That's the lesson in this game. It's a very, very important one psychologically to do. I know, shut up and show us the game. I am, but there's the psychology here that's critical. Yes? And of course you take it. No question. Take that pawn. The pawn will retake. Now the king side has been disrupted somewhat. Now watch. She continues to hit the weakened king side. Remember, they castled opposite sides. White's objective, attack that king. Attack that king. Black's objective, attack this king. But black is on the defense. Note that once Polgar gets the offense, she's like a pit bull. She grabs and she will not let go. And it is fabulous to see how she does this. So he's going to protect, and of course, the bishop will continue, taking out one of the best defenders of the castled king, that fianchettoed bishop. Yes, rook will take g7. What do you think you're going to do now? You're going to worry about this guy? No. Now here comes the queen. Notice systematic application of pressure to that castled king. That's the lesson here. She does this very, very well. So the rook comes back here to defend, and now, yes, systematic application of pressure on that king. I'm not kidding. Polgar was a master at this, and we're watching it happen. That's the lesson here. This is fabulous how she does this. So the knight comes to d5. Come on, give her credit. The knight is powerfully centralized. But that's not where she wants that knight. Right? Okay, it's powerfully centralized. But Polgar loves the idea that she can get rid of yet another defender of the black king because the position is weakened. Yeah. So this is good for Polgar. Yes? Just say yes, because it really is. So you say, well, okay, in essence, the center's closed down. What have I been saying this whole game? The king side is weakened on black. She relentless. Every move she has made since she pushed that pawn, you guys, has been an attack on that king side. So why change? Why stop now? And you go, well, for Pete's sake, there's nothing left to do. Yes, there is. Ka-blam! Relentless pressure against the king. The king, I say. Fabulous. Just fabulous. Only as a Polgar can do, right? And you go, holy cow, she had better have this down, because she just went down a rook, which she did. Again, look, that's what like now, 5 moves in a row, 6 moves in a row, direct attack of anything over there on that king side. Yeah. Now it's check. Right? So the king moves out of play. And you go, well, now you're out of options. No, you are not. Again, how many moves in a row? Check. Get to the king. Because that's the object. Notice this little guy has not moved. Nothing ever happened over here. Because once Polgar got there, she has relentlessly stayed there and put everything she had into it. That's the lesson here. Fantastic. So the king comes out of check. And mate. That's that's beautiful. That is really one of the best illustrations I've ever seen. I know it's easy to read about, you guys, right? And it's easy to watch others and all that, but we always get nervous when someone starts coming after our king, and so we switch our attention to come and play defense. Polgar never played defense. Once she got that pawn up there and disrupt, and it was just a pawn. Yeah, it was just a pawn. She never made one more wasted move. She always applied pressure or attacked pieces on that king side. She threw away a rook. She sacrificed the rook. She sacrificed the pawn to get that king. Checkmate. Fantastic illustration of that. So there is your chessercise. 2 fabulous games for the holidays. I'll see if I can get some more on before Thanksgiving to you, and I'm going to really try to blitzoid between Thanksgiving and Christmas and give you a heck of a Christmas holiday of a magnifico chess. Yes, we play a good chess. Okay, yeah, calm down. Okay, you guys, great to see you again. I love you guys. You're awesome. Remember, be good, do well, have fun, be kind, and I will see you in the next Backyard Professor Chess videos.